My friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. We absolutely have to talk about the Rajay Jackson incident that happened at an independent professional wrestling show now that all the information has come out about this absolutely disgusting attack that happened at an independent professional wrestling show at Knox Pro, which is run by WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi. And this organization, training, and school, Knox Pro, was a WWE ID contracted school. I don't believe that they're associated anymore because of the incident that happened with Rajay Jackson, who's the son of Quinton Rampage Jackson, the former UFC MMA fighter. And the show is operated by Rikishi, and one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life, not just at a professional wrestling show, but just ever happened a few days ago over the weekend. Now, before we get into sort of the details about this, the wrestler that got attacked, Stuart Smith, I believe his name is, or Psycho Stu as he goes under his ring name, is okay. He is stable. I think he has woken up. I saw a picture of him on the internet with his friends. There is a GoFundMe available for him that Dolph Ziggler or Nick Nemeth shared. And so God bless. He's okay. Prayers to him and his family. Now let's talk about what happened. And also, anyone defending the actions of Jackson are wrong. That includes Mark Henry. That includes Rob Van Dam. They are wrong. There is no defense. There is no defense of Jackson's actions. Zero defense, especially if you've watched the video, which everyone in the world has seen the video where he has 22 unanswered, unblocked, like no defense shots straight to his face. It looked like attempted murder. And so if you come up with this sort of convoluted idea that it was warranted or he needed a receipt or you're ignorant about wrestling, you're fucking wrong. You were wrong. So this all started with like this little altercation that Stuart Smith, that Stu and Jackson had in the back. Stu was under the impression that Jackson was like a worker. He didn't really know who he was. And there was everything was being streamed live on Kick, so we have full evidence of everything. And then you can see in a video where Stu sort of hits him in the head, working punch, hits him in the head with like a beer can. This is all pretend, part of the show, like sort of worked in the wrestling world. And Jackson didn't understand that, and then Stu got smartened up that Jackson wasn't a worker. He got told that. He apologized a bunch of times, 3 times. It all looked like it was squashed. They shook hands, like Jackson says it was okay, all just brewing in his mind that he was going to get back at him. Just looking this man in the eye and saying it's okay, knowing he was going to do something absolutely disgusting later with zero remorse. And then between that incident and the time he rolled into the ring to actually attack Stu, there was a wrestler that was saying, you got to get your receipt back, you got to get your receipt, you got to get your receipt. Just absolutely disgusting behavior from that guy. And then the chat on Kick is just cooking Jackson, saying you're a pussy, you're a bitch, you're not going to beat him up, you're not going to do shit about it. So the combination of all of these things, the disgusting behavior from the wrestler who said, you got to get your receipt. No, you don't. It was a work. Stu worked his punch, worked the beer can. Everything was all supposed to be part of the show. And then he realized that Jackson wasn't part of the show, wasn't a worker, wasn't a wrestler, apologized a bunch of times, shook his hand, tried to clear the air, and Jackson was just brewing, knowing he had this premeditated attack in his head, which is very important to understand. And then we get to the point where he actually slides in the ring during the show, grabs Stu, slams him on the back of the head. When you get grabbed like that by someone who slides in the ring as a wrestler, you just assume that it's part of the story, part of the deal. And it wasn't. He slams him. You can see immediately he gets knocked out. And then boom, boom, boom. Jackson goes nuts with 22 shots to his face. A smaller man than Stu, he definitely would have killed him. Thank God he did not. Thank God that Stu is okay right now. Like an Army veteran uses wrestling as an outlet, like a lot of us do who get into wrestling or talk about wrestling or whatever the case may be. But again, watch that video. Watch Jackson go absolutely nuts on this guy. 22 shots. And it takes a while. It takes 22 shots for any wrestler to slide in the ring, which also, thank God for the wrestler that slid in the ring and grabbed Jackson and pulled him away. But it should have happened faster. It should have happened faster. You got to recognize this in an instant and see this guy is just going to ham on this. If you're a wrestler, you know what a work punch looks like. These are not work punches. These are real punches that he was trying to do damage. He was trying to assault Stu, and it looked like attempted murder. And then finally, this wrestler slides in the ring. He did a whole YouTube video about it. Maybe you want to watch it. He finally gets him in like a, I don't know, guillotine or double legs him or throws him off. And then after that, you see that Jackson has zero remorse for his actions. His dad, Quinton Rampage Jackson, is trying to come up with some bullshit excuses about this or that. He had a concussion and it was this and it was that. All gross, gross behavior. It's very, very clear what happened. We see it. It's live, on Kick, streamed. And then you still have people like Mark Henry and RVD trying to defend the situation, again, trying to say you're ignorant about wrestling. No, I'm not. I've been in the professional wrestling business since 2016. I know what the deal is. And this was gross, disgusting behavior. Thank God we have people like JBL and Dolph Ziggler talking about it, sharing the GoFundMe, saying that the responsibility is all on Jackson, and his terrible, disgusting behavior should be held accountable, should deeply, deeply be held accountable. Also, filthy Tom Lawler was all over X, tweeting about all these types of things, calling out this horrible, horrible behavior. So there is good people in wrestling still, holding people accountable, saying there should be consequences, and not sort of talking about weird work wrestling sort of mystique bullshit like Mark Henry and Rob Van Dam. But this has to be talked about. I don't usually discuss these types of things on this channel. It's usually sort of WWE news. But since all the information has come out and I just got really heated about it, and we finally found out that Stu is okay, he's awake, he's stable, he's doing well, then we can talk about what the actions of Jackson mean. And it's just like there's no defense of his actions whatsoever. Zero. He has to be held accountable. This looks like attempted murder. It's definitely assault. It's definitely premeditated. You can just see he was stewing after he shook the hand, said it's all right. From there, between the time he rolled in the ring, he knew exactly what he was going to do. And then there's videos of him at the house after, walking down the street. He has no remorse whatsoever. That's psychotic behavior. And then his dad is making excuses about the whole thing. It's all just gross, and it needs to be talked about. It needs to be addressed, and he absolutely must be held accountable for his actions. I would love to know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about this whole situation, and then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.